Hey, what's going on, dudes? It's TheDoctorBlu, and today I have with me on the channel the man, the myth, the YouTube sensei, RathFGC. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Glad to be here.
Yes. How are you enjoying your coronacation?
That's a positive spin on it. Just that the way you're saying that's a lot more positive than I've been viewing it.
True.
It's rough being home all the time, but gonna try and get through classes, gonna try and still make videos and make the most of it. So
yeah, that's actually a perfect segue, because I wanted to talk to you about that. You have a pretty active Twitter account. What people might not know if they just watch your YouTube is that you're still in college.
Yeah,
I feel like that's a huge part of your personality. What are you going for?
software engineering.
Brilliant. And I might be mistaken on this, but you spent a good bit of time competing in the FGC, like on circuit, for a while. Were you doing that in college, or was college something you decided to do later on?
I've done pretty much all of it in college. I started at the end of high school. I got into fighting games, and then in college I actually started traveling to tournaments. So I think actually, a little bit before college, probably only like senior year of high school, junior year. So probably about 7 or 8 years already.
That's a lot to handle.
I kind of took some detours in school, so I've unfortunately been in college a bit longer than I wanted to be, but that's totally fine.
Fair. For me, I didn't start college until after I actually toured with my band for like 5 years, and it was the last thing that I wanted to do. And now it's a completely different realm than the FGC, but I like to bring it in because it highlights that people of different passions, even if they don't plan on going to school, there's still the opportunity to. Have you found it like super hard to balance the fighting game career that you're building with your time in college?
Yeah, absolutely, because I'm the kind of person that wants to make everything work all the time. I don't want to make sacrifices. I don't want to have to cut anything out completely. I'll like kind of thin everything out enough that I can try to make everything work. And when it doesn't work out, it's kind of catastrophic. Like school just implodes, okay. Stuff does not work out. But I still try to make everything work at the same time. I don't want to have to give up making videos. I don't want to have to give up. Obviously, school comes first. I don't want to have to give up working. So
yeah. And for everyone that's watching right now, if you're wondering why Rath and I aren't playing, it's actually because we don't have the same console.
Yeah.
So people at Bandai and Arxis, dude, cross-platform would be amazing. But I thought that since
if they did it right,
maybe
if they did it right,
I think that you're pretty well known and celebrated for the way that you speak. It's so pedagogical, like it's so beginner friendly.
Okay, I know what that means. I don't know what the first word means. Gotta grab a dictionary.
Yeah, I mentioned pedagogy because it's actually the art of teaching people how to teach themselves. It's one of my I'm super obsessed with it, and I feel like the way that you've built up your social media, your online persona, it's so built around helping other people. I kind of want to dig into what made that happen. Like, how did you get that personality? Do you have older siblings? Were you an only child? Like, what made Rath?
I have if I had to guess, I know my mom's a high school teacher. Maybe that's some kind of an influence on it. I don't know, but I've always kind of felt like teaching would be something I like to do. But I also know from watching her and all the stuff she's had to go through with like school districts and crappy situations, being a teacher isn't the best job, and it doesn't pay super well either. But I don't want to go through that. I know that's not the career I want, but there's parts of it that I know I like. And I think one of the things I like about making videos is that I can do it exactly the way that I want, and I can still get the kind of enjoyment out of it that I would get from teaching. So I think that's probably part of the reason why I do things the way that I do, or why I'm so interested in making videos.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really successful formula that you found where, so when approaching the YouTube grind, the game, the overall like meta. I find that a lot of people like try it for a second and they're like, oh, it's just not meant for me. It's just not going to work out. I'm not one of those people. But from my perspective, and from the perspective of someone like who has a channel like yours, it's really about consistency. And you found a way to make people engaged week after week. How? What's up? Share your secret with the world.
I don't know, but I do think I've been able to take a lot of lessons from the first time I did YouTube almost a decade ago. Right before I got into actually playing fighting games, I was really interested in YouTube because I was watching like Call of Duty commentary, or like if you ever watched like Hutch or CNanners, like way back when, it was like, dang, these people just make videos playing a game that they like, and they just talk about things they like, and they can say whatever they want, and like people are interested in that. That's awesome. I think at the time I didn't have an outlet that I really enjoyed, so or not really an outlet that I enjoyed, but I didn't really have an outlet to talk like that, so I wanted to do it. So I tried it for a while, and I did. At the time, Minecraft was like brand new, and I think it was like Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops was out at the time. I did that for like a year, and it didn't go great. And I learned a lot during that about consistency, and you have to be consistent. Whatever that is for you is different. Like I think you upload almost daily, right?
Every single day.
So that's super consistent. Consistent for me is trying every week, right? Consistent for a huge channel that maybe uploads once a month could be something different, but whatever consistent is, you have to stick with that. And if you learn real quick, if you don't stick with whatever your consistent is, you have a problem. you're just like, people are used to every week, and then you're gone for 3 weeks, and it's like, what happened? And I don't even want to think about stuff with the YouTube algorithm, because that's its own discussion, but that all gets messed up too.
It's a hell of a grind. Did your recent video, and if you're watching this sometime in the future, it was recently April Fool's, and so
that was fun.
It was time for a new Wrath breakdown, and he decided to do. Can you say the name?
Android 21.
Android 21. Bro, it took me about 2 minutes before I realized that it was a parody.
I wanted it to be like just close enough to a normal thing, like that kind of uneasiness you get when something is almost right. Like there's just something off. Her name's misspelled. It was Android 21 1001 instead of 101. It was a lot of fun. It was nice to do something completely different. I'm glad people didn't blow me up for it, because I thought it was. I mean, I was super nervous about putting that out because it looks like crap. That's the point.
Did you draw all of that in Paint?
It was not Paint. I did it exactly as I would in Paint, but I wanted to be able to have like easy, transparent backgrounds, and I want to be able to reuse the same images. So I downloaded like a free crappy version of Photoshop from online and treated it like Microsoft Paint, just so I could have the layers and keep them around, so I could like there's a part in the video where I show her 2H and I show her jump H, and it's just the jump H upside down, or I'm sorry, jump H is just her 2H upside down. So it made doing stuff like that much easier for me. So
when you're a channel like yours that is like, let's hyper focus on being as efficient as possible, like you're known for checking with the pros, checking with the experts, like on your hit video you checked in with, who was that you checked
Assassin.
in with? You made sure that what you put out there was completely positive, and so it makes sense that when you put out a video like that that it might run a gamble. But to lean into a newer topic, I want you to picture where you're going to be in the next year and a half, because your growth has been astounding. It's been really great to see you grow, because I believe you started around 9 months ago.
I started in August, I believe. Yeah, because I know Evo wrapped up and I was kind of bored, and I was really having fun learning Janemba and just thought, I'll just make a Janemba guide. Why not?
Yeah.
And then I wanted to do a GT Goku guide because it felt like there wasn't a good one, even though he'd been out for like 3 months. So, or way more than 3 months, actually, like half a year at that point. And just kind of realized I liked it. So probably
he shaped things for a long time. Did you see that happening?
Yeah. Like the first week we saw that character is like, why does this character have everything that they removed from season 1? Like 50-50s without spending meter, no landing recovery on moves that put him airborne. He can stack supers, amazing special moves, amazing projectiles, amazing assists. Like, I don't know how anyone looked at that character and didn't immediately think that he was like, at the very, like, even if you're not jumping to S tier, like, clearly so solid and clearly fits on any team where you're gonna at least see him a lot at a top level just because of how flexible he is, right?
Right. So from there in August to the next year and a half, what does it look like for the channel? I know you're interested in creating stuff that's not just how to be a good Dragon Ball player, but being a good fighting game player. What does that mean for how you're going to approach videos?
Well, it basically just means I'll do some topics that are general and would apply to any game, and obviously do some topics for other games too. So I kind of dipped my toes in working with Granblue Versus.
Right.
And I'm going to do more of that, but I'm waiting for the patch because I don't want to upload something right now and have it be invalidated 3 days from now. But more games, more different types of videos. Like I want to do maybe some more match analysis, more how to use your matches online, review your footage, and actually learn from it and use training mode. I just want to do a little bit of everything, try a bunch of stuff out. I don't want to do one type of video forever
and get pigeonholed.
Especially since character guides aren't something that'll last forever. I'm happy to do those. I like doing them, and I love how in depth I can do, how in depth I can go on those topics. But a new version of the game is always going to come out eventually, or people might move on to a different game years from now, and it's like that knowledge doesn't apply anymore, right? If they completely change a character, like let's say Hit a month after I put out a Hit guide, that kind of sucks.
Yeah, because
that sort of happened. He's not completely different, but he definitely changed enough where a lot of stuff in that guide might not be applicable anymore.
Like a big thing that had me sweating when season 3 dropped is there was rumors they were changing key blast properties, and for a lot of in-game loops I was worried that every single one of my Rhythmic Theory guides were going to be completely annihilated. And breaking frame data down into like tempo, like I was like, I'm not gonna redo them, dudes. This is gonna be hard.
Yeah, same thing with the character guides. I can't commit that kind of time to them again. I might do some sort of minor updates to them or small videos to kind of highlight the differences if there's something really important to talk about. But those videos take like 40-50 hours to make. I can't just do the whole cast every season. That'd be all I do. I wouldn't get to make anything else.
You're also notorious. Well, I want to say notorious. You are. I can't tell if it's lauded or if it's like head scratching. You are not a fan of tier list. Can you break down that mythology?
Well, they're fun. I like have to hold back the desire to make one like every week, but I think when you're at a point where you have anything, and I hate this word, but you have anything resembling clout, then anything you put out there, people are going to take really seriously. Even if you put a character in a certain tier and you make a note at the bottom saying, I'm, not sure, they might move up, they might move down, people will take it as fact.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is that no one knows everything right now. The game is, like, Season 3 is too new. Goichi doesn't know everything. That's why he's playing a different character every week. You watch him, like, oh, why'd you drop this character? Why'd you drop that character? Right. He's not dropping anyone. He's just experimenting with the whole cast. At least that's what it seems like to me.
Yeah.
And it's just, like, irresponsible, I think, to make tier lists that often and not be really upfront about, like, this is what I'm thinking now. These are all the characters I'm unsure of. Like, you have to put so many little asterisks on it so that people don't take you too seriously on it, and even then they probably will still take you too seriously on it.
Yeah, no, they'll take it to the bank.
Yeah, and I just don't want to contribute to that. You know, I have opinions for sure, and I'm always happy to talk about that, like on stream. If someone asks me, I'll be honest with them there, but I don't want to put something out there super public and get people all riled up about something, and
then have
I want
to take
people
it
to
back.
think for themselves. That's like the whole point. Like you were saying earlier, like teach people how to teach themselves. That's the best way to describe what I want to do. And doing something like a tier list kind of is so counter to that I don't like it. I don't want to do it. And if I do, I want it to be more from a perspective of like something that forces people to think like, oh, this is a matchup tier list, right? It's not about where they are on the tier list. It's like, here's the character, here's how I view their matchups, maybe, right? So, and then you can discuss that. That might be something that's more okay.
Yeah, and I think it would be an original way to do it. I also think that I haven't seen you do ever a reaction video. What keeps you from wanting to dabble your toe into that sort of entertainment?
I don't want to be rude.
No, dude. This is completely.
I think they're generally really lazy. I think it's okay to do them, but I think for me, it's not. I don't think people are watching me for personality, and if they are, like, oh wow, I'm flattered, thank you, that's great. But
yeah,
realistically, that's not it. It's at least to me, I think it's because of the content I'm putting out, the quality of it, the information. I don't think I'm like a hype man. You know, I'm not interesting enough to make a reaction sort of video and have it be something worth watching, unless it was, again, like a joke, you know. So I just don't think that fits me as a person. I don't have an issue with it, but to me it's not up to the kind of standards that I have. It doesn't match the goal of helping people improve, and it doesn't keep with my my standards for quality, I think.
That's awesome. Now, I don't want to put you in hot water, but I do want to simultaneously wrap this up while also kind of put you in the hot seat. Okay, recently on one of your videos, there was a comment that's saying you should do FGC commentating. You should be at the events doing it, and you'd be great paired with a hype man. Who is the one person you would love to co-commentate with? But only one.
Only one, and it has to be a hype man. I actually don't know. I think Dragon Ball in particular has a lot of like analysis focused people, like Ringe, Sejam, oh, I like Damascus. I'll go with Damascus for sure.
Dude, I was hoping you'd say Damascus. 100%. I would love to
that's
see
actually an easy question. I don't know why I thought about it that much.
Okay.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He's definitely one of my favorites, and he's a really good mix of like analysis and like excitement. Like he just has so much fun with everything, and just hearing him like whenever base Vegeta does his level 3, hearing him like yell Shine, it's you can tell how much fun he's having with it. I'd like to be part of that for sure.
And I actually think that people underestimate him as a player. He's actually a really good Dragon Ball player as well.
Yeah, he's been streaming a lot recently too.
Yeah, notice it's awesome. Oh, okay, let's close this out with one final question. If you have any advice for someone who feels like streaming, YouTube, it's not for them, but they really want to get into it. They're afraid of the judgment and the stigma and just the overall, I don't know, being on camera. What is the one advice that you would give them to push them along their journey, inspire them?
It's kind of general, and I'm not trying to sound like Shia LaBeouf, but just do it. You know, like try your best, make something that you're reasonably proud of, but it doesn't have to be perfect. If you sit on it forever and try to polish it up forever and try, this one video you want to make, it'll take you 2 months. You still won't be perfectly happy with it. Yeah. And it might never get put out. Just make it, be okay with however it ends up, and put it out there. And next time, try to find 1 or 2 things to improve at, and then put it out there. Don't sit on it forever. Just try your best, and don't hold on to it forever. Because you'll never be, if that's your mindset, you'll never be perfectly happy with it. Be okay with not being perfect right away. It's gonna take time. I mean, I've always been pretty happy with everything I've done. But you go back and watch the first one I put out, the Janemba 101 guide, and it's it's crap compared to what I'm doing now. The audio is garbage. The pacing is terrible. I don't have a script. You get better at those things by doing more. So just don't overthink it. Just do it,
Just do it.
Yeah,
I always say that your first video will completely suck. But that's the point. I
have the benefit of it not being my first video. I could go back and find the actual first video from a decade ago, and I'll never do it. Never.
Just bury it. Turn it on unlisted.
It's gone. I have it, but I might wipe it from existence.
Nice, man. Well, guys, this has been RathFGC. I very much appreciate him coming on the channel. I wanted to get his philosophy to you. Thank you for letting me mediate. Is there anything you'd like to add before we go?
Wash your hands.
Stay
inside. Yeah, I'm sure you heard it enough, but it's probably the most relevant thing right now.
It's probably.
And even 2 years in the future, if you're watching this, still wash your hands.
People are like, why is he telling me to wash my hands? Nice. Okay, guys, I've been the Dr. Blue. While you're here, I want to say you guys are incredible. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to RathFGC for more completely great pedagogical philosophy. I'll see you dudes in the next video.